It is August 9th, 2017 at about 7:20 p.m. And about 20 minutes ago, around 7 p.m., I was looking this way and watched something drift by from right to left from this perspective, so that's south to north, heading north, because this is looking eastward. From the northern hemisphere, about well, this is between the cities of Montreal and Ottawa in Canada, but in a farming community. Anyways, it was clearly not a plane. It was white. What I witnessed, I figured I'd just put the camera on. I ran for the camera while I was watching it. I took the chance to go run for the camera, and of course when I came back it was gone. But I'm filming now just because you never know. You never know if it comes back or if something else decides to cruise by. Anyways, the odd thing is, while I was just kicking back, listening to some audio on my computer and watching, this is the weird part, while I was watching the flight radar, which I occasionally do, it just helps me to learn distance, and I can compare. I can look at a plane and guess what its altitude is, etc., and then look at it on radar and know exactly. It's pretty cool. Flight Radar 24 is a really real-time radar depiction of what's going on above us. So it's pretty interesting to watch, to be able to learn a little bit about, distance and altitude and types of planes even. Anyways, while I was watching the flight radar and thinking to myself, oh, nothing above me or in the area at the moment, that became visible to me in that moment, in this perspective that we're looking at now. And there it was. And I looked back at the computer screen to be sure that that wasn't showing up on the radar, and it wasn't. So that's when I ran for my camera and came back and it was gone. So what it looked like was just white. It just looked white. It looked like a little, well, because it was distant, little white solid object with no wings. Couldn't see any detail. It just looked like an oval shaped white thing drifting by. It just kind of, no sound. The distance, hard to say because I don't know what it was, hard to say depending on how big the thing was. But if it were, let's say, jet-sized, then I would guess it to have been at about 20 to 25,000 feet, maybe, maximum 25, more like 20, I would say, if it was a plane. But it was clearly not a plane. It wasn't shaped like a plane. It was just oval. And it wasn't on the radar screen, so that was really interesting. That's not the first time I see anomalous things in the sky. But that one was kind of short-lived. I suppose the whole thing lasted about a good 10 seconds as I watched it drift by, at first thinking it was a plane. A good 10 seconds. That's when I decided to run and get my camera, and it had disappeared. Anyways, I'll keep my eyes on the skies.